You can hear me now? He loaded very well today, and man, I keep telling you guys what a mind he has. If you go back and really look at it, he's just staring right down the racetrack and wouldn't take his eyes off them doors until they opened. Jumped extremely well, and I was really happy that he did that. A little bit concerned going around the first turn. He jumped the tracks right past the wire here where they're rolling the things out, and when he did, he really got to slipping. After we straightened up down the backside, he kind of got himself up back underneath himself, and I felt very good. I looked over and I looked to my inside and I saw it was good magic. I said, oh man, it's going to be a match race from this point on. And they tested his fitness today. He went at him early. And, man, and he kind of kept pushing on him and pushing on him and pushing on me and pushing on me, trying to see if they could wear me out. I'm sure, again, blessed to be on a horse with this much talent because he withstanded that. And although he got tired today, he was also looking around a bit at the end. So a bit of the greenness came out today, but he also got pushed pretty hard early on.
And representing the China Horse Club is Mr. Tao. So Mike has been taking some questions, gentlemen, but free game, Childs from the Baltimore Sun. Childs Walker, you're next.
Yeah, Mike, did you feel Bravazzo coming at the end? I mean, he came up real close at the end.
Hang on one sec, Mike. The question from down here is, Mike, did you feel Bravazzo coming down the stretch?
Yes, I did. I looked over about 100 yards ago, and I saw him to the outside, but the wire was coming up pretty quick, and I felt we had him at bay, you know.
Went to posing.
Well, but not a whole lot of posing. At my age, you don't pose too much. I just stay the same.
Kevin.
Was the strategy to get in the lead and hold the lead throughout the race?
Was the strategy to Mike Smith to get in the lead and hold it throughout the race?
It was to jump out of the gate very well, to be aggressive leaving there, and then look to my inside and see who was going to do the same and who wasn't. I was actually surprised that it wasn't your other horse, Mr. Trout, that wasn't up there with me. I thought it was for a second there. It was so foggy, but then when I saw it was good magic, I knew we were in for a horse race very early on in the race. I knew he was going to probably push me really early, they know they can't let him go at that point, so he's just going to test his fitness. And this was a race that he's going to get fit off of. This was by far his hardest race, but in also saying that he was also looking around a little bit at the end.
Yes.
Mike, you said he was starting to get, he got a bit tired today. How confident were you in the stretch that you were going to have enough force to hold off whoever was coming?
The question again for Mike is, you just said he got a little fatigued at the end. How comfortable are you moving on to the Belmont that won't be a problem?
Well, Bravazzo ran a big race. I mean, to finish like he did, but I mean, and I'm not taking away nothing against his performance, but I felt pretty confident that we were okay at that point. You know, unless something unforeseen happened, you know, but I felt that I had him at bay, and although it was a half a length, you know, I certainly could have got after him a whole lot more, a lot earlier, and made him do a little more as well.
How did the track at Church hold down?
A lot slippier, more slick. It was a lot more slick today than it was at Churchill. It was pretty sticky at Churchill. It got pretty deep. Today, you weren't going to the ground very, very far, but it was just really, really slick.
Do I need to introduce you? I don't think I need to introduce Bob. You're now part of it, brother. Anybody? Yes.
Bob, you talked now about 3 weeks coming up and the possibility of another Triple Crown.
Hey, Bob, hang on one second. Bob Baffert has joined us. The question for Bob is, how confident, Bob, do you feel going into Belmont and winning another Triple Crown?
Well, what we're going to do is like we did for this race. You know, he has to show us. You know, he has to come out of the race well, and he's got to be training really well. You know, I did the same thing with American Fair. All my horses that ran the Triple Crown, they have to be 100%. And so he'll dictate it. You know, he seemed like he was blowing today. He was, you could tell he was in a fight the whole way. But we'll just get him back to Kentucky and just we'll see how he trains. And right now I don't see why not.
I will ask a question to you, Bob. You win your 7th Preakness. Has that set in? Has the fact that you are possibly winning or could win another Triple Crown set in yet?
Well, when he drew the 7, right away I thought, well, 7, 7, 7. Like it's all maybe this is. We're always, as a trainer, and you're always looking for a sign, something, whether it's something. And when I drew the 7, I thought, well, 7th Preakness, and I was like, but I knew we had the horse to do it. You know, I knew we had it. You know, he's a beautiful horse, and I'm so proud of my team. You know, Jimmy Barnes, Lalo the groom. Just, you know, it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of pressure, and we might not show it because we've been through this, but we hide it pretty well. But believe me, we're all on pins and needles. We've been on pins and needles all winter, and you know, with all my other horses. And but I just can't thank Kenny Trout and the team, Elliot Walden, Winstar, and everybody involved with this horse. You know, to trust me with such a beautiful animal, and Elliot as a former trainer, he knows what we go through, and he's great to work with, and his input is very important. And so, you know, it's like we're all in it together. We're in this. It's like Camp Justify, you know. So we're going into this as a team, and then it is the beauty of hooking up with Tail from China Horse Club with my favorite mare, Abel Tasman, who just gave me one of the biggest thrills winning the Kentucky Oaks last year. So it's a great group. It's a fun group. There's no extra pressure on me because, you know, Elliot knows as a trainer, he takes care of everybody. And I just deal with Elliot. We know what's going on, and that's half the battle right there.
Charles.
Bob, in terms of whether he was tired at the end or how tired he was at the end, do you think that was more just the fight that he went through today with the weather and everything else? Do you think it was 5 races in 90 days? I mean, what do you think it was?
Bob, one second.
All right.
The question from Charles Walker, the son, is seeing what you saw today, was it a result of the fight he was in today, or the fact that he had so many races in such a short period of time?
Well, I think, you know, he's had a lot of races right in a row, and it reminded me of American Pharoah's Derby win. American Pharoah, he was coming off a huge race, Oaklawn, and he had a fight. It was sort of the same thing, like he had to really dig deep, and he was running with some good horses. And I think that, you know, coming back in the 2 weeks, ran so incredible in the Derby, and you know, his Santa Anita Derby was sort of like that, you know, a big effort. But I just think that he's just the quality. I mean, he's the quality. You can only get away with that when you have a superior horse like he is. And so, you know, sometimes as a trainer and as a jockey, we have to count on that horse to make up for. I can only do so much in 2 weeks. I went really easy with him, and so. And you know, it was showing up there at the end, but I mean, good magic. I mean, he really put it to us. It was almost like the Sunday Silent, easy goer type. You know, just, you know, they didn't give it away. You know, he was going to make us earn it, and I wasn't liking it down the backside. I was like, well, he's not running free. They're going to go ahead and take their, you know, they take their big swing. But you know, luckily, this is what makes horse racing so great, and these great horses, they just define themselves when they get in that situation. And today he just showed not only is this big, beautiful, gorgeous horse, but he is all racehorse, and that's what it took to win today.
Yes.
What was it like watching the race unfold in the fall? How do you experience it doing that before?
The question, and this could be for everybody, Kenny, Elliot, everybody, Bob, what was it like when they're going in and out of the fog? How was that to juggle that?
Well, I was, you know, I was thinking that it's got to be tough, and Larry Colemo's the announcer. I was joking about, you know, he's probably saying they're in the backside. I can't see the horses, but there's Post Malone, and so it's like, you know, they're going, and all my boys were with me, and they said, I can't see anything. And when I heard my boy say he's making his move, and I saw the white colors turning for home, and I see he was, and Mike was going on with it, and so. And I saw him going left-handed, so I thought, well, he's going left-handed early. That means he's probably getting a little tired. And but I was never really relaxed during the race. I knew he was in for a fight. I knew this was not going to be easy. He was, but all I was doing, I was just praying for the wire. I was like, where's the wire? Come quickly, because you know he was just, you know, he fending off those horses. And I'm very excited to hear my buddy Wayne Lucas ran second. That's awesome. And that's, you know, never count him out. He was always under the radar, but I'm glad that he ran second.
Charles, real quick, Kenny and Elliot, do you want to talk about that? Because everybody in the crowd was saying the same thing what Bob just said, man. They couldn't see who was winning, and they knew Mike was making this move. Pick that mic up right in front of you, Kenny. And just your range of emotions, this is Kenny Trout speaking for everybody upstairs, your range of emotions while this whole thing is unfolding.
While this race was going on? Oh. I was there, and we were watching it. And really what got me more than anything is when they kind of turned for home and all of a sudden I couldn't see him. That scared me to death, man. I was really, I remember Bob talked about how nervous he was in the Derby. Well, I was that way down the stretch. And then finally they showed up right there and boom. And it was unbelievable, absolutely.
I just say it seemed like an eternity. You know, but when they went into the fog, it seemed, I was like, where are they? Where are they? Just anticipation of them coming out, and you knew that when they went in, that he was in front. So you were hoping to see those white silks coming out. I was a little concerned. There were 3 or 4 horses around him, a little more than I would have hoped. But you know, it was just exciting to see those white silks out, and I thought he ran really well.
Charles?
Yeah, this is for Bob. I mean, did it seem fitting in a way that it was Wayne's horse that almost got you at the end? And was there a moment where you thought he was going to catch you?
The question is,
I didn't.
Baffert, is it fitting in a way that it was Wayne's horse who made the run and almost caught you?
I didn't know whose horse it was. I know it was a horse coming, and I didn't know until I got to the podium. I go, who ran second? Wayne did. I go, oh, that's great. It was like, I was just, you know what, we're just, you know, when the expectations are so high, it's added pressure for everybody involved, and all week, you know, and so it was the 2 weeks. It seems like it was quick, but it's a long week, you know, long 2 weeks, but that's, you know, we've been here before. You never really get used to it. It's exciting, it's stressful, but we have such a passion for it, you know, that's why we do it, you know, and we love it, and so I'm just glad that, you know, we pulled it out.
Mark, oh, I'm sorry. Mark?
Yeah, Mike, provided everything goes according and you're able to ride at Belmont for the chance to win a Triple Crown, what does that mean for a jockey in your career?
Yeah, the question from Mark Viviano of Channel 13 to Mike Smith. Mike, provided everything goes well and he does start at the Belmont, what does it mean for you with a chance to win the Triple Crown?
I think it's everyone's dream come true. I mean, I think when you're a kid starting to ride or learning how to ride, you know, it's always a Kentucky Derby. Although for me, it was the All-American. I was a quarter horse guy to start with, and then, of course, it was winning the Kentucky Derby. And then after you're blessed to do that, man, you just want one chance at a Triple Crown. And at my age, man, what a way to ride off into the sunset. Although I don't plan on retiring anytime soon, but you know, I don't think I ever got that opportunity at a young age because I don't think I was ready for it. But right now I really am. I feel very happy. I'm at peace. I can't wait to get to the next place.
Don't get any more days between now and then.
Yeah, no more suspensions. Yeah.
Question for Mr. Tao.
Yeah.
Mr. Tao, question. Your thoughts on possibly winning a Triple Crown?
Well, first of all, I must thank you everyone in the media. And today, the race is like my longest race in my life. Waiting for 20 seconds without seeing the result, I think it feels like years. So, but I must say that it is one of the most exciting. I thought this fog is planned for, is to add more excitement. But I'm just say that I'm just looking at the messages from the phone, and all our fans and our members, and some of them are here, are very, very thankful that we participated in Preakness, and we love this town, and we will bring a lot of fond memory with us. Thank you.
Question for Elliot. Elliot, you were the trainer that stopped the Triple Crown bid, some 20 years ago. Oh, yeah. Have you thought about that at all in the last maybe hour?
No, just really focused on today, and Bob and his crew did a wonderful job. And Dave Grinning mentioned earlier the week about Umberto, their exercise rider, and his father passing away a couple days ago. And as Bob said, his crew worked so hard, and everybody on the racetrack worked so hard. it was great to see him right after the race, and I told him, I said, this is for your dad, and it was special. It was special. So I haven't thought about that. You know, Bob.
I'm sure you'll be asked it a lot in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. But you know, those things tend to happen the way they're supposed to happen. And Bob and I talked about that before. That when you mention American Pharoah, Seattle Slew, the horses that have won the Triple Crown, take nothing away from Real Quiet. He won 2 of the 3, but he just wasn't quite the horse that could get that done. And so if Justify's meant to do it, it'll happen, and if not, it just won't.
And to let everyone know, Victory Gallop was
Also,
the horse that
if you guys,
that Elliott
next 3
trained.
weeks, just call Elliott with all your questions.
Hey, we're going to take 2 more questions, guys. 2 more.
And asking here.
I'm sorry, yes.
Coming up this race, what's your confidence level in this horse?
The question to Bob is, coming off this race, what's your confidence level?
Well, since the first time we worked him, breezed him at Santa Anita, and when he broke his maiden, we've always known, we're pretty confident we had something really, really special, something like an American Pharoah type, you know, like Arrogate, you know, something, a special, you know, they're just like, they're freaky horses, you know, just like all the greats, you know, like Seattle Slew, Spectacular Bid, and our job is just try to manage them as well as we can, you know, and that's, you know, so we try to do, we have to go back on all my experiences to, you know, to get him there. But one thing about him, he's a big, heavy, strong horse, and races don't knock him out. I mean, he will eat everything tonight. That's just the way he is. That's one thing about his groom, same groom as American Pharoah and all the good ones. He eats everything. He'll eat everything tonight, and his appetite. He looked a little heavy to me today in the paddock because we've been pretty easy, you know. But he's just a massive. He's just a chisel. I mean, he's just such a beautiful. I know you keep hearing me say the thing, but I mean, I would love to put a Western saddle on him and ride him in the Rose Parade if they would let me. I mean, he's just so beautiful.
Last question, Charles.
This is really for both Elliott and Bob. Watching him as he comes out of the race, will you keep a particular eye on that foot that we've talked about so much over the last couple of weeks and how he responds?
Elliott, hang on 1 second now. The question for both Elliott and Bob is, coming out of this race, will you keep an eye on the foot that was a small issue coming out of the Derby?
I'll just defer to Bob. Bob's the trainer.
No, I mean, that's something, anytime a horse runs on a wet track, you know, you're going to deal with things like that. It was unfortunate. I didn't know about it. We didn't know about it, and I brought him out there to show him off. So I'm going to be really reluctant to bring him out and show him off to you guys tomorrow. But he looked good, and he felt good. I mean, it was one day when he got on the gravel, we picked up on it, it was something minor, and so unfortunately it was, you know, like anything, you know, we have the Derby winner, and so any little thing. I remember going back. I remember Sunday Silence had a bruise before he won the Preakness, and you know, a lot of horses. I've had a lot of horses that get bruises, but we deal with it, and nowadays we know within 24 hours he was fine. So it's just something that it's like a girl getting a blister with her high heels on one day. A couple days you're fine.
Is that true, ladies? Okay.
It's true.
We will end with that, guys upstairs. That's it from us down here. Gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you for your time.